It is
Hello.
it is Friday.
Hello.
That's
a day of the week.
It is. I originally scheduled this stream for yesterday by accident. Unless I say that we are doing the stream on a different day of the week,
We're not doing it on a different day of the week.
it will always be on Friday because the Thursday bean just doesn't have the same ring to it. If you notice
That's a different bean.
if you notice that it's scheduled for the wrong day, it just means that Starla did a stupid.
Yep.
So your best bet is to tag me in my Facebook group link down below.
Apologies in advance. We're a little sniffly today. I don't know if it's the weather or if we have a cold, but we have the sniffles.
Just little itty bitty sniffles. So today we're going to be building a brand map. I figure that with the new year here, it might be a good idea for those of you who already have established brands to start doing some reflection and refinement. And I'm not talking about your logo, though logos do play a role in branding, as those of you in Handmade Alpha Academy especially know. Your branding is not a logo or your fonts or your colors. Those are elements of your visible branding, but there are also a lot of other elements, including your invisible branding. Your branding is the feeling that you give to your audience. And the thing about branding is that it is not determined by you. Your branding is determined by the audience and their interpretation of your brand. And there are so many brands that have failed at this. A couple years ago, actually, I think it was only in like 2020.
Something like that.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
A couple of years ago, there was a brand that, was newly developing, and it was a couple of guys in Germany who had a female roommate, and they decided that, it would be a great idea to create this awesome invention. Women would love it. They'd make it pink. Women would love it. They made latex gloves, pink latex gloves to use to remove feminine hygiene products. And for all of our guys in the audience.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, for all of our guys in the audience, women, we got that handled. We don't need pretty pink gloves in order to take care of that. Like we've been doing it for a while. We don't need that. But they thought that they had a great brand. They did everything right. They got their social medias going. They, had great branding, great logo. But they had so many things that impacted their brand negatively that they never even thought would tie in, like the fact that they were both guys. So there are a lot of, I know you guys, they're called pinky gloves. There's a huge, story on it if you want to look it up. But they're gone now. Obviously, they realized, okay, this wasn't a good idea because they got so much backlash. But the point is, sometimes we tie things into our brand that we don't realize are taking us down weird paths. And it's never going to be, well, hopefully it's never going to be as severe as the guys who made
I hope not.
pinky gloves. But sometimes you can attach yourself to things, or your audience can attach you to something negative. For example, there were a bunch of like racists who were wearing the Virilis kilts.
Oh yeah.
And Virilis isn't even they are, I can't remember what country the brand is from.
I don't know. I thought it was a US brand.
No, they're not a US brand.
Why don't you start?
But basically this brand, they make like kind of, Celtic-y type clothing, and they do like a mix of modern, and they make like really cool cloaks and kilts and things like that. And this like super like nasty hate group started wearing their kilts, and people started associating their brand with this hate group, and they they did to fight that, they made a whole line of rainbow
all the time.
They made a whole line of rainbow kilts though to fight these these crazy hateful people. But anyway, and that was a really smart move on their part, because they were like, you know what, we want nothing to do with this. But for a while, people could have associated their brand with that if they hadn't have taken action. So that's just an example of how sometimes things get tied to your brand that you didn't even plan and you had no control over, but it just happens due to an event, due to, some type of good or bad publicity. There are a lot of ways that your brand can be perceived. And there are so many little factors, including your social media, how people talk about your brand. If there's like a hateful Reddit post talking about how your brand is the worst, that can reflect poorly. There are a lot of different things that tie into what your brand is. So today, what we're going to be doing is an activity that you guys, I hope, are going to follow along and do at home. If you don't
Participate.
Yes. You guys, I highly recommend grabbing, pen and paper so that you can jot this down. We did this a couple years ago with a whiteboard. I think it's been like 3 years, but we've gotten so many more subscribers since that time that I figured that right now would be a great time to start evaluating your brand if you already have one that is established. And for those of you who have been asking me over the last few months to cover branding, what does branding mean? What's this? What's that? We're really going to cover that. And Amber, we're going to hopefully have some time to do your brand as well, because I thought that you would be a good example. But we're going to start with some brands that everybody's familiar with, everybody knows, and we're hopefully going to have you guys participate with us, and we're going to map out their brands. That way you have an idea of how you can map out your own brand. So if you guys are ready.
I'm not.
You're not ready?
And you can't be on me today, buddy. I got to use keyboard.
Yeah, you want to put him back on his post, or you want me to do it?
If you want.
Yeah,
let me
put him.
what you do.
Let me put him back up.
Let's get this prepared here. We still got people joining, so we got a couple seconds.
That's fine. Let me put him back on his tower. If I give him catnip, do you think he'll stay up here?
If you give him catnip, he might stay up there. He might do the exact opposite of stay up there.
Where is his catnip?
I have in there.
Okay.
Bottom, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I promise this isn't drugs. It's
Yeah, we put that away during the E-rank stream because it looks like
it
looks like pot.
It's oregano.
It's oregano. Why do you need such a big bag of oregano?
Yeah. It's actually in Bubber's defense, it's called Meowawana is the brand.
And him love him some catnip.
There you go.
There you go. Not that I think anybody in the E-rank stream would care if it were. Since we're like months away from legalization anyway, right? Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Now that Bubbers is happy. Now that's either going to calm him down or
the exact opposite, and I'm going to have to take him upstairs. Either way, it's fine.
So we're building a brand map for, those of you who are taking notes. It's also known as a mind map.
Oh, let me see.
You might be familiar with these from middle school English class. I actually still use these when I'm writing. For those of you who don't know, I have a book published. So these are, really great creative tools for anything where you need to map out different associations and ideas.
Sorry, I'm just getting this lined up. It's not cooperating with me.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
We'll start as soon as Mark figures out what the heck he's trying to do.
I know exactly what I'm trying to do. The computer's not cooperating, so just continue. Okay. I'll just have to keep a constant eye up here.
Okay. All right. So the first one I figured that we could do is Starbucks, since I think most of us know what Starbucks is. What we want to do is start thinking of words that we can associate with Starbucks. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, I think that this would be a better element to use. For example, let's do coffee, obviously. One of the first things that we think about when we think of Starbucks. So we'll go ahead and let's make that nice and big. There we go. So I think of coffee when I think of Starbucks. What else do we think about when we think of Starbucks? Mr. Moore, what were some that we were talking about earlier? Like it's kind of higher. It's a higher end, which Mark and I are coffee snobs. So to us, it's not
higher end. Starbucks is trash coffee. But
right. They try to. So let's go ahead and do high end. And the way that they achieve high end. The way that they achieve high end is through their atmosphere. If you've read Pour Your Heart Into It how Starbucks built a brand one cup at a time, or brand empire. I can't remember the specifics. It's all about how Howard Schultz basically became, because he didn't start Starbucks. He came along later on, but his whole goal was to create an atmosphere where normally when people got coffee, they were getting coffee at a diner. It was kind of cheap and it was a quick thing, but he wanted there to be an experience around it. So
Somebody said too strong. Starbucks coffee isn't too strong. It's usually made too hot, which gives it a bitter, nasty back of the throat taste.
yeah. So let's see. You guys are giving us words that are associated with some of the things that we have already, but we're thinking of Starbucks as a brand in general. We did have somebody say mermaid, so we could toss that one in there.
But that one's a far stretch.
Yeah, because the associations that we're going to put into there are going to be, what about, instead of mermaid itself, what about the color, that green? I think that,
Green.
yeah, because I don't think of mermaids
They
when
have their specific green color.
yeah. So I think that this is a pretty good place to start. You know, we can kind of start here. And now what we want to do is branch out and start thinking about words that we associate with these things. So
Try to think about this, because there's a lot of people that really hate Starbucks in here. Which I guess we should have predicted.
Well-
Try to think of it as somebody who would enjoy Starbucks, what they would want their brand
right, you guys
to
can
represent. You can hate on them all you want, but they're going to be the biggest coffee brand in the world, probably forever. So.
right. This isn't a try to think of the worst things that we can about Starbucks.
No. It's a brand exercise. Calm down.
Right. Okay, so what do we think about when we think of coffee? I think of the morning. I usually want coffee in the morning.
Somebody said pumpkin spice. I know it's a coffee flavor, but it's also a basic chick movement, which kind of goes into trendy, right? Because it's trendy.
Well, I would say
They are trend starters.
right. I dare say that trendy could go with the high end because, you know, it's high end, it's trendy. You know,
They set the trend for, like, whether you like Starbucks or not, they set the trend for what's in for caffeinated beverages. There's no arguing that.
absolutely. And you know what? Honestly, I think that we could take trendy and atmosphere and put those two things together. I think that this is a shared trait, don't you?
Yes.
So those go really well together. Morning and coffee. What else do we think of when we think of coffee?
Lo-fi coffee shop music. I have never heard lo-fi in a Starbucks. It's only ever been like Bieber.
Right. Well, maybe music. Music could go in atmosphere though, because they do always have, you know, some funky music playing. It's usually like Katy Perry and stuff at ours, but you know, that's part of it. What about
Smell? Somebody said the smell.
Oh yeah, that goes with coffee.
Atmosphere and coffee, yeah.
Let's put smell in atmosphere because it's given that coffee has a smell.
Right.
I think that smell.
Everything has a smell.
Yeah, I think that smell plays more into the mood that they're creating. Let's see. I dare say that the variety of coffee, maybe because there's a nice big variety. There's a lot of different ways to have coffee, and you can get a lot of different types of coffee at Starbucks. So that might be one that we include with coffee.
High end, we could put exclusivity. They do a lot of like exclusive flavors and things that you really can't do on your own.
You got it. And you have to know, there are some drinks that you have to know how to order it, like the secret
I'm gonna
menu
put
stuff.
exclusives as a not embarrass myself, looking like an idiot who can't spell exclusivity. Exclusives.
Okay, so let's move on to green, which I also think is kind of part of the atmosphere. But I think that earth, or what are like earth tones. I think that these are calming colors that play in to both the color of their branding as well as their brand atmosphere. Because if you go into a Starbucks, most of them are brown and
Upselling
earthy.
isn't a brand trait. That's just a business tactic.
Yeah. Ooh, meeting place, workspace.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. So I dare say that that should go in high end because it is part of the atmosphere, but you're not going to go work and sit comfortably at, somewhere that's like gross and stinky, right? You're gonna, meeting, working. You're gonna go to somewhere nice that's comfortable. So honestly, that kind of goes in high end and
So
atmosphere.
green can also mean eco-friendly, but I really don't think Starbucks is very eco-friendly.
No, they're not. They are not, nor are they very healthy.
First date, Tinder date, maybe.
I was gonna say that's a little specific. Let's see. Morning. Morning, maybe like I'm thinking of I'm trying to think of more for coffee. Well, let's try to branch off one more. So what
Convenience.
What goes with morning?
Convenience. Being able to get up, go to work, not have to make your own coffee.
You could just do fast if you wanted to.
But I didn't.
Okay, that's fine. All right, convenience. I'm
Social
thinking
awareness, according to their SEO.
really. Let's do really? That's weird.
That's a very odd one.
How
I
about
want to know the justification for the person that works there.
breakfast? That's something that we do in the morning. Breakfast. Let's see.
We can probably move on. We have like 5 of these.
That's fine.
We're already 20 minutes in.
That's fine. Let's see. Earth tones. Let's go ahead and grab this and do maybe nature, which, there's a lot of natural wood and things. Trendy exclusives.
Wrong names written on coffee cups. Yeah, you got. I once told them mark with the C and they put MARCK.
No, they put park.
No, they've done that too. I've gotten both. I've gotten many different ways to spell my name.
Trendy. Who are trendy? Teens are trendy. Who likes Starbucks?
A lot of people said teens.
Teens love Starbucks. Teens are trendy. Is he going crazy back
He's
there?
fighting his ball.
Good.
He's a good boy.
All right, so I think that we've got a pretty good idea here, and you guys can get as in-depth as you want to, but there are some really interesting things that we've discovered by doing this. So Starbucks does not just sell coffee, okay? If you ask somebody what Starbucks sell, they're going to say coffee. But there are a lot of nuances that are hidden within the brand, which are the real reason why people go to Starbucks, but they don't know that they go to Starbucks. So they'll say, I go to Starbucks for coffee, but what they don't realize is they're also going for maybe the atmosphere. Maybe they're going because they want to sit and work in all the good smells with the calming music because it's kind of trendy. Maybe, they're teenagers and they want to do, their college work sitting at the Starbucks. It might be good for Starbucks to be aware that people enjoy the green because it's an earth tone, and maybe they should incorporate more nature elements in. If Starbucks didn't already serve breakfast sandwiches, hey, maybe it would be a good idea for them because people are there in the morning. If they want to minimize the number of trips somebody has to make when they're on their busy day and, keep them from having to also stop at a restaurant to get food, maybe we start serving breakfast. So obviously Starbucks already has their brand down, right? They've already got that narrowed down. So they've mastered all of these things. But what I want you guys to start doing is thinking about the words that tie into your own brand, because what that can help you to do is find great ways to advertise. Maybe Starbucks does an advertising campaign because they know that fall is coming up and pumpkin spice lattes are their most popular drink. Maybe they take pictures of their cups, their Starbucks cups with the lattes next to, pumpkins and pumpkin, the vine wrapped around the Starbucks cup, or in a pile of leaves, because those are nature elements and earth tones that would make a great marketing campaign. Maybe they know that people are also going to their stores in the morning. Maybe that helps them to come up with a new product idea, like incorporating in breakfast. Maybe they know that teens are finding their products trendy and they want to sell to more teens, so they start utilizing more teen models holding the coffee cups in their social media marketing. Or maybe they start advertising more on websites or apps like TikTok, where they know teens are spending more time. So I hope that makes sense and why we're doing this exercise.
Don't immediately jump on the next one.
Oh.
There's comments and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Slow down.
Okay. All right. Next.
Goodness me. I'm going to pull it up to the regular camera while I go through. We get like 50 comments of,
Woo!
I did exactly what I said not to do.
That's fine.
Hold on. I got to mute the mic. Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I smacked the mic and it came loose. I just wanted to go through. I don't know if there were any questions. Consistency. They're everywhere. They're definitely consistent. If there's one thing that they are, it's consistent.
Yeah, Starbucks. Well, their coffee isn't consistent. Sometimes
they want their brand to appear eco-friendly. Yeah, they did that with the straws, and then they had their own straws developed, and
except their lids and their cups are still
an environmental hazard. Yeah, they're probably one of the biggest environmental destruction companies on the planet. Let's see. Have it your way. Productive workspace. Yeah, they're productive. Treat, trustworthy.
That's how they want to be seen.
That's how they want to be. Yeah, you're right. That's the whole thing. Drive-through caffeine, coffee alternatives, brown.
Influential. Yeah. I liked that word.
Yeah, me too.
Hippies and teens.
I don't really agree with hippies because, again, they're like one of the worst environmental impact companies on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of plastic cups, an hour.
I would much rather go to a little trendy, quiet mom and pop. Not that I am the definition of a hippie, but I think that Mark and I are pretty...
our Starbucks alone, a couple hundred plastic cups an hour.
Yeah.
There's always a line, 15 to 20 cars long outside. Not exaggerating. Right. Convenient.
Yeah, they've got an app.
Makeup is fire today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and somebody said, I don't really know if that's... They were talking about it being a selfish thing. Remember, anytime you're doing something convenient for yourself, it's technically selfish. Don't confuse selfish with being a bad word. Selfish is self-motivated.
It's self-motivated. Right. Yeah. Everything that we do is selfish. You guys are here because you're selfish. Right? You're here to learn something. You're not here to give me views and give me YouTube monetization because you have nothing better to do. You're self-motivated. You're here to learn something. So
yeah, they said not hippies, but modern boho girls who don't understand actual hippie culture. Yeah. We call that a poser.
Oh. All right.
Okay, I think we're good to go ahead and jump on to the next brand. We can probably honestly skip that one. We're almost 30 minutes into this stream.
I guess. I think that we'll find more that go with this one.
Okay, you can do it if you want. We're just not going to be able to cover them all if we keep it at this speed.
All right. Well, which one would you guys rather do? Would you rather do Tiffany & Co. or Nike? Which one are you... we'll do a quick, 10 seconds as soon as people arrive.
Yeah. Somebody said, I like your shirt. I want it. Yeah, Target in the men's section. It's an $8 shirt.
Oh yeah, he buys.
I love this brand. I go in every couple of months and just buy every shirt they have because they're $7-8 a piece.
You guys can really see what the lag is like. Okay, we got one for Nike, Tiffany's, Nike, Tiffany. Okay, it looks like Tiffany's is our clear winner.
Yeah, it's about 75% Tiffany.
Okay. All right, we will get
rid of Nike. A lot of sports ball players here, I think.
Sports ball. All right, let's go ahead and do Tiffany's just because, it's a jewelry brand, which will be a little different. Are you ready?
Go on to Target, Tracy. I think they still have it. I bought it about a year ago, but I think they still have this shirt. You might have to look on the discount rack.
All right, so Tiffany & Co., what do they sell? Jewelry. Mr. Moore, jewelry.
Sorry, I'm reading comments.
All right, they sell... jewelry. So there's one word. I think that of all of the brands that need to be noted for their colors, I think that Tiffany Blue, they have a trademark on their color. You cannot call this color Tiffany Blue.
In fact, can use the color.
Can you just put Tiffany Blue specifically? Because I have a couple things that I want to add to that. That is their color.
Did I spell that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Also high end. Because their jewelry is quite expensive, so we'll put high end in there. I would say that they mostly cater to women. They do have
women.
They do have, watches and things, but through all of their marketing, it is all just, blonde models and, runways, and they've tried to incorporate in some silly products, but for the most part, they're known for their jewelry. And then let's see.
Love, elegance, luxury.
I think that those words,
classy. Yeah.
Let's, I'm just going to steal this.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do luxury. That goes, oop.
Click back in the box.
There
we go.
Luxury goes with high end.
Duplicate that. Put another one under high end. I'm going to put specifically bougie here because they sell a bunch of things for people who want to just buy ridiculous things that don't actually serve a purpose.
Like the expensive paperclip.
Like the expensive paperclip, yep. Or the ceramic styrofoam cup.
Yep, yep. I love the word iconic. Should that be under high end? I think that iconic. High end. Yeah.
I think that is both that and the Tiffany blue because you immediately recognize their color.
Ooh, you're right. Let's put that up here.
Like I know if I see somebody wearing that color, what they're specific, or if they have a package or something, I know exactly what they're carrying.
Timeless. I love that. I think timeless could go with jewelry, almost like they could be heirloom pieces, a timeless piece of jewelry.
Somebody said snobby rich people. No, that's not associate all rich people with being snobby now.
Yeah, that's
occasionally the occasional bougie buy doesn't make you a snob.
Let's see. Treat, wealth. Yeah, I let's say let's just put expensive. It is expensive.
Does that fall under the women category too?
What, women expensive? Now
that's a joke. Good God, any of you under like 25, that was a joke.
Now I'm a expensive woman.
You are
all right.
Expensive female.
What do we think of when we think of the Tiffany blue? I think of their boxes primarily.
Box.
Really, I do. I think of their boxes. And can you put slash ribbon? It's blue box, white ribbon. That is their iconic, their iconic theme.
Somebody said minimalist. They are very minimalist.
You're right.
Expensive as they are.
Yeah, they have some crazy pieces, but for the most part, their pieces are pretty. And I don't know about you guys, but the primary thing that I think of when I think of their brand is the heart shape, because they have a lot, like one of their most iconic things is that traditional heart-shaped lock charm that they put on a lot of their things. I think that is one that, I personally think of when I think of their brand.
They said my hubby's expensive. He's a computer nerd. Oh yeah, I'm way more expensive than she is.
Oh yeah. I'm
most of the things on here right now.
Women, we don't have any for women, but maybe fashionable, because it's not just women. That's not their target audience. It's, I would say, fashionable women, maybe women of status who want to.
Somebody said esteem.
Yeah, that's fine. Esteem. Maybe women who, they want to feel good. I say status because maybe they're wearing it to work. Class. Yeah, they want to be classy. They want to wear it.
Class and status are kind of similar, except status is more of a public thing. Class is more of what you want to be known as, right?
How about statement piece? You wear Tiffany's because you want to make a statement.
I mean, statement could even be a subset of like all of these.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
I think that kind of falls into that. And you don't see, I think it's more with the younger generations, but you don't really see a lot of men in our generation and older who do any of the they're not fashionable. They don't really care about their esteem. They don't really care about class. They don't care about any of that. This is a very recent thing, but women have kind of always been that as a way to impress people. Right. So
yeah. Somebody said,
in fashion at least.
somebody had said New York as their flagship. I would say that New York is very high end. You know that.
Till you actually walk around New York.
Well, yeah, but people associate.
Somebody farts on you.
Somebody farts on you.
It runs up and just lets one and laughs and runs.
So
New York.
let's see. Minimalist. I dare say that. I dare say that silver and gold could be timeless and minimalist.
Silver and gold.
Silver. And gold.
Stop. That's all we can do.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Only one. That's all we get.
Can't get copyright strikes. Let's see. And a lot of people, let's see. Old money aesthetic.
Socialite. That kind of falls under class.
Brand loyalty. Yeah, I guess loyalty could go in with timelessness. It could be a subcategory for timelessness. It's usually people who come back and buy again and again. Let's see. Engagement. So you need to. Oh, there we go.
It was autofill.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it wanted to autofill.
So engagement, I think could be, timeless, minimalist, heart shape. It could be a good gift. All right. So I think that we've got a good little set here. What do you guys think? So if Tiffany wanted to run a marketing campaign, they might look at their brand map and say, okay, we know that women want to make a statement. Women of class want to make a statement by wearing our pieces. So we should make a minimalist silver and gold collection of, jewelry, assuming that they didn't already do that, which obviously we know they do because they're already an established brand, but we're pretending that they're just developing their brand, right?
Megan said I haven't caught a live in a minute.
Awesome.
Well, welcome back. I sent you an email yesterday, I believe. I think that was you.
So think about how you can start building your own brand map. We'll do a couple more quick examples. These are going to be a little bit more fun. You guys are going to do one for the alphas. So I'll get you started. Starla and Mark will do us separate.
Us.
No, we'll do Starla as one. Starla as one. You don't listen.
Because I'm reading comments, worrying about my phone, and doing this at the same time.
You must.
I'm a busy boy.
You must listen. All right. And I dare say that Etsy should probably be one as well. Okay. What things do you guys think about when you think of the alphas?
It's not a roast.
Yeah, not a roast, please.
Determined.
Did somebody say that?
Yes.
Determined?
Yes.
What, the alphas are determined or I'm determined?
Because it certainly isn't me.
Okay.
Thanks, though.
E rank, wolf, knowledgeable. Okay, so alpha, if we go to the core of alpha, what is an alpha? I definitely think of a wolf, so let's throw that one in there. Okay, so let's do Starla.
Education is probably another one you could throw on there.
I was going to put that under me.
That's like our primary feature. I do it too.
Okay. Education.
I always try to take credit for everything.
Education. There we go. Okay, so bougie. That's Mark. So let's do.
You could leave that on there. That's
teacher.
Teacher.
Okay, cool. Teacher. Which that also goes with education, I suppose. Why don't we do teacher with education and coach with Starla? There we go. Maybe entrepreneur. We had one. Can you spell it? I can't spell entrepreneur. I can't even say entrepreneur. It's one of those words that my brain just doesn't like. Somebody had said E rank, which that should go with Etsy, I think.
Yeah.
Relatable. That should go with probably us both. We'll put it in the middle. I would hope that we're both, you know,
We said player. I am not. We've been together for like 13 years.
supportive. Supportive, man, that goes with Starla, Mark, and Wolf, because wolves are supportive, right? Do supportive. Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like the wolf is more of a brand element than anything.
Well, what do we think of when we think of a wolf? We think of a pack. We think of there being a leader. We think of, I dare say, teamwork would be a good word. And I think that teamwork is more of a subcategory here to pack and leader. What else do we have? Funny. I'm going to assume that you mean both of us. Group. Okay, group. That kind of goes with us, but I think that, well, we have pack as well. So
He says, is this just an excuse to gas you up? Yes.
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I know these feel weird to do. I'll be more comfortable doing Amber's. Generous, somebody said.
I don't particularly care. Roast me. Go for it.
All right.
Don't really. Do that on our stream later.
What do we think of when we think of Etsy? I think of handmade. Okay. So that might be a good one. And I'd also like to add, because we did this on our last one, when it comes to relatable, because I think that this is a really important part of our brand and why you guys listen to us. I think that it's important to note that we're parents. I think that that's something that you guys can relate to. I dare say that we are pretty realistic. We don't BS you. So
A lot of people said honest. I think that falls under education. True, like being truthful.
yeah, honest.
There's a lot of fake education out there.
Ooh, and another good one might be psychology. I think that that's something big that we teach. Okay. What do we think of when we think of E-rank? We think of, you already know the answer to this.
Kangaroos.
That's what Anthony would agree. Now, SEO. Did you guys know Anthony's Australian? He lives in Ohio now, though.
I would do an Australian accent, but it's really offensive when I do it because it's really bad.
Anthony's not offended by it.
It ends up just being like a half French English person. It's really bad. I can't do Australian for some reason.
Data driven, that's good. We could do data. Logical, because
data, science, all that kind of stuff.
Let's see. Information, Etsy overwhelming, caters to Starbucks women.
I read from Algeria and I was like, I don't think anybody there is from Algeria, but they were talking about themselves.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
Relatable. Okay. You know, we've got bubbers. Let's just say cats. We do cats. Most of you have cats.
Stay on top of everything.
User friendly for E-rank. Marketplace. Facts.
We're probably good where we are.
Yeah.
We've got like 20 things on the screen right now.
So judging, you know, the words that we have here, maybe if I was doing a marketing campaign for Handmade Alpha Academy, maybe I don't realize you guys follow us because of the cats. Maybe I do a whole campaign where all of our marketing photos are with the cats in the marketing photos, or maybe I make funny videos with the cats because that is what makes us relatable, you know, to you. Or maybe I have the cat sitting at my desk on E-rank doing SEO. Maybe that's something which he would never, Buppers would not comply with those requests. But, you know, if in a perfect world, maybe that's a marketing campaign that we do. So, you know, lots of good ideas here.
1 second.
Yes.
Because Ikator Handmaids is in here and she's on the Starbucks part.
Uh-huh.
When you get to this, because you're like 20 whole minutes behind, you frequently complain about not being in the like there being a huge delay. I think whatever device you're on, you need to go to the bottom of the actual screen itself
and drag it all the way
and
over.
drag it to the end, because it sounds like when you join, it starts at the beginning of the stream. unless you're just commenting later on. And then,
Yeah, we just don't want you to think that
Yeah,
we're like
yeah.
ignoring you, because I think that you've
yeah, I think your stream is just like 20 minutes behind.
yeah. Okay, so let's do Amber Marie. Is everybody familiar?
Baby, I literally have to do this.
Okay.
Don't.
All right, I think that everybody is familiar with Amber Marie's brand. So we're going to do her next. Amber, for those who aren't familiar, she does really great pet portraits. They're mostly on greeting cards. You can kind of see some of them in the background. She draws, people's pets. She does, she does other products as well that you can get her, her art on. So
She said be nice.
It's
Absolutely not.
it's primarily dogs, though. So let's do dogs or dog breeds. Mr. Moore. Okay.
Dog breeds.
So, because she does a big variety of different dog breeds, right? Because why is this font so much bigger?
Lol.
There we go. Dog breeds. When I think of Amber, I think of cards. She does a lot of different cards. I think of
British.
British. I mean, I do, but most people wouldn't know that just by looking at her.
I know. I'm just screwing with her because she's here.
Personalized. Yeah. That would be a good one. You know what? In fact, I think that personalization should actually go in cards. I guess that's...
It's not British, Dulcie. It is British. No T. It's an apostrophe in the middle.
Let's see.
Sweet potatoes and gravy.
Let's do... we have dog breeds. Let's do pet portraits. I think that that's an important one as well. Let's see. And I think that one of the main things about Amber's brand and her marketing is she's super funny. Okay. All right. So let's start working through these.
We say giftable.
Yeah,
That goes in with
cards. That goes with cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, cards could go under portraits. Gift.
Yeah, let's do gift.
Excuse me.
Portraits, I think of handmade. Right?
Expansive. She's got a lot.
Yeah, well, you know what? That should go with dog breeds. She's got a lot of dog breeds. I will say that corgis come top of mind because she does a lot with her two corgis specifically. Funny, she does a lot of puns in her marketing.
Puns.
Let's see, cards, occasions. So if you're buying cards, you're going to do different occasions, right?
S, right? Am I stupid?
Yeah. S.
You sure? Okay.
S.
Oh, occasion and occasions it doesn't matter. Occasion would be the appropriate word.
Occasions. Let's see. Portraits. I dare say time. No.
Time.
Yeah.
You said I'm reading at the same time. Be patient with Dad.
Time would be a good one because it's something, it's handmade. It takes time. It's something that is made with care. Okay. So funny, maybe relatable would be a good one for Amber, right?
Agreed.
Relatable. Let's see. And then, for occasions, we could do,
connection.
Let's just do birthday because we won't do all of the holidays.
I'm gonna just do
Oops.
You can't click out of a box.
I didn't realize that you were still typing.
It'd be celebration.
Birthday or celebration would be fine because that could cover a lot of different things. Okay. What else? How about for dog breeds and expansive? Let's do rare. because she does dog breeds that you can't just go to the store. You know, you'll find labs and chihuahuas and poodles at the store and corgis, but you're not going to find some of the dog breeds that she covers. She can be the only solution for some people when it comes to finding gifts with their breed. Let's see, handmade. I dare say that love goes into the aspect of time and handmade, because she's, you know, obviously she's creating every piece with love. Let's see. Trying to think if there are any other good ones. What do we have? Family, festive, timeless. I like timeless. That's a good one for gift, because it's not following like any trend. It is literally their dog. And that goes with keepable. Detail. Yeah, I mean, detail, they are very detailed. So detail, we could put under, you know, the portrait element, which I think, you know, that ties into unique. Okay, so I think that we've got a pretty good idea here. So I hope that this exercise has helped you guys. I hope that you're able to kind of, you know, spend some time on yours. Obviously, we just did them real quick. We could have gone through all the different occasions. We could have done like birthday, Christmas, Father's Day, Mother's Day. You could have branched off of those. You know, maybe we did Amber, cards, occasions, Mother's Day, and then what do we think of when we think of Mother's Day? Flowers, chocolates, pink, you know, love. And then Amber decides, oh, I'm going to make a Mother's Day card with a dog holding a bouquet of flowers in its mouth, you know, for Mother's Day. So you can think of a lot of really great abstract ideas. Oh, does the chat all catch up at once on that side?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get going over here, but the scaling on this monitor is like 500% for some reason.
I loved memorial. I wish we should have added that one on there as well. I wasn't even thinking about that people might want their pieces as a memorial piece. You guys wafting that love over.
All right, you guys are good to get your questions in.
Yeah, feel free to ask us anything related to Etsy. This upcoming Tuesday's video is going to be about the recent copyright lawsuit taking place with Disney and a small handmade company. We're going to be going into all the details and doing a refresh on copyright laws and Etsy, some of the things that this couple did wrong, and some of the things that you guys should be aware of when it comes to copyright and creating product, and why Etsy, you know, seems to have so much of it on the platform. So that's coming up this Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I covered oh goodness, what did I cover? I know what I was wearing. I was wearing my red shirt.
We're still coming out of the holiday season, so you can't ask me questions too fast.
Oh, I covered all of the SEO changes that took place in 2022. So if you're one of those people who just like was asleep all through 2022 and there's no way that you were checking all those Etsy emails and you have no idea what's going on and you know that you missed a bunch, but you just want to know what you missed, make sure that you watch last Tuesday's video, because that's going to cover everything related to Etsy search that changed last year, so you can be all caught up and ready for this year.
Hey, Maria, you would have been sent to the dashboard upon signing up with a video and a start here explanation that'll tell you what you need to do to get your E-rank.
Yeah, Maria, you also got an email from me at coach@handmadealphaacademy.com. It's got all the information on how to get your E-rank Pro subscription. But in short, you need to email me because that doesn't
That's
start
the coach email.
Yeah, the coach email. You need to email me. But on the dashboard at handmadealphaacademy.com, or I think it's in module 1, actually.
It could be in module 1.
Yeah. So, but just send me an email, coach@handmadealphaacademy.com.
Would you start an Etsy shop before officially registering your company?
You don't need to register your company
in
starting.
the US.
Yeah,
they
well,
might not, this doesn't look like.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where you are, I think. In the US, the answer is no. You can, but I would talk to the Small Business Administration for your country or wherever you are, or and it might be state specific in the U.S.
I
But
think it's state specific. Talk to a legal professional. It's not that expensive.
or just Google Small Business Association. Most people have one, and no matter where you are, there's usually a Small Business Association. Ours is SBA.gov in the U.S. And then just find your area and try to sort through and see what you need. Okay.
What are your thoughts on people selling all pre-made products like Amazon? You can't sell pre-made products on Etsy. It's against their terms of use.
Yes, so they're breaking Etsy's rules unless you're asking something else. Unless you're asking,
unless you're asking something more specific than that. Because if you're selling something that was already made on Etsy, you're breaking their term. I'll just straight report you if I see it.
Right.
I report every listing that I see that has that. So.
Yeah, feel free to let it get specific with your question, and we're happy to answer them.
I did a few searches of my pictures and it was very successful. It was pretty fun to experiment.
Oh, the new visual search tool.
Cool. I'm glad it's working.
We can't test it because we don't have.
Yeah.
We have to. It's only iOS right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably be getting an iPhone in the next year, unfortunately. I have a doozy of a question. I was in the midst of doing all my social media and website, etc. I got COVID and had to take a break for 2 weeks. When I came back, one of the website, your sentence got cut off.
Oh.
There's a
Right
limit.
there.
Should I pay the domain ransom? So basically, she had people come in and ransom her domain. They bought her domain out from under her and are ransoming it out.
That's the only way you're going to get it back.
That's the only way you're going to get it back. I mean,
Anthony Wolf paid my domain ransom for Starlamore.com.
Did you? Okay, here's the thing. Did you own the website beforehand, or did they buy it out from under you before you had a chance to buy it?
Because they can't buy it if you already own it.
Unless you let your domain lapse and then
right.
they buy it out from under you. But if you've been selling under that name, you might be able to get it as intellectual copyright, especially if it's your name and you owned it before and you sold products under that website already. Then you might be able to sue them for buying out and trying to ransom your website under intellectual copyright laws. But that's going to be expensive. Might be more expensive than just buying it out from under them. It's touchy because intellectual copyright is kind of gray. So you're either going to buy it or you're going to hire a copyright lawyer and try to sue them under intellectual copyright law. So I wish I could tell you more, but unfortunately that's just kind of how it is. Consult a legal professional with something like that, because you're looking at like probably several $100,000 lawsuit. Yeah, those companies are usually like multi-million-dollar companies.
My Starlamore.com was purchased out from under me, and they were holding it for like $10,000 or something ridiculous. So that was like a birthday present from Anthony, I think. I think he bought it.
Yeah, I think he bought it for your birthday.
Yeah.
And we haven't done anything with it yet.
No, I haven't decided. Well, I don't know what to do with it because I'm an author. I run HAA. We have a bunch of other projects, so I'm still deciding. But I'm so happy that I have it. Isn't it beneficial for tax purposes, registering your business? Yes and no. If you mean like getting like an LLC, it can be beneficial because money is going back into your company. You're giving yourself a payroll. It can be
registering your business and LLCing are two different things.
Okay. I think it's just going to depend.
Yeah, and as far as LLCing goes, that just kind of takes away liability. Mm-hmm. So that's beneficial, but anyway, speak to an attorney. That's probably the best thing that you should do when it comes to anything tax related. Speak to it, not an attorney, but it's like a tax accountant.
An accountant,
first.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I'm out of it.
We have tons of accountants in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community as well. If you have a specific question for an accountant, I think that I know of like at least 4 of them off the top of my head in there. So
my products are also Keepsake. Another vendor shop is called Keepsake Kipit. How can I use Keepsake as a keyword? Should I pull it?
Or would it pull up her shop? I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure, but who knows? She doesn't own those words. She doesn't own the word keepsake. So maybe
Unless she somehow managed to copyright Keepsake Kipit.
Yeah. Well, on best case scenario, Linda, is that if she has people looking for her shop, they might find you.
Could be a way of stealing out her customers from underneath her in a legal way.
Yeah, that would be a totally ethical way to do it, because if your products are keepsakes as well, she doesn't own the word keepsake.
And
so.
I 100% am sure that she wouldn't be the first person to use the term keepsake kippet. So there's a very good chance she doesn't own the car. He or she does not own copyright over that term. So.
Linda, it's up to you. You can experiment with it, and
wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Having trouble setting up Google Analytics. Any video that would help.
Yep. Go to my channel, search Starla More Google Analytics, and
or just go to her channel and search Google Analytics.
Yeah. You can follow my full tutorial on how to get that set up.
I made a new banner in Canva. Is there any specific way I'm supposed to download it so I can upload it to my Etsy shop and be crisp and clear? Yeah, you need to adjust the actual.
Yeah. Christy, if you don't, do you have Canva Pro? If you have Canva Pro, you need to.
Canva open.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and share.
Screen share.
Okay.
And we go to.
You want me to just do it?
Yeah, you do it real fast.
All right. So if you're doing an Etsy banner and you have Canva Pro, what you want to do, make sure that it is on PNG.
Do not click download.
And you want to pull it as far over as you can get it, because Etsy will scale it down, but they will not scale it up.
As long as your original aspect ratio is correct, the original resolution you put in there is correct.
If you don't have Canva Pro, you're not going to be able to pull it to be as big as you need it. What you can do, and what others have said that you can do, is, let's just go home. I don't care what.
Also, make sure compress file is not checked.
Yeah.
And quality is at 100% if that's an option.
So what you can also do is click create a design, custom size, and you can put in the correct aspect ratio, which, can you type in Etsy banner?
It's wrong.
No.
Etsy wrong. Don't type and talk at the same time. The Etsy banner one on here is wrong.
No,
I've used it before.
It's not wrong.
Oh.
I just used it.
Oh, it was Twitch. Sorry.
Okay. So you say that we're going to try to download this and you don't have Canva Pro. If you do have Canva Pro, you need to just drag this all the way and download it like this. Okay. But let's say that you don't have Canva Pro and it only like downloads at this size. What you can do is
take it and just multiply the numbers by like 3.
Well, let's see. 3, 7, 50 by 938. So we'll go here. We'll do custom size 750 by 958. So this is the size that you guys need. Oh, they probably can't see this. I think we're in the way.
Yeah, we're probably in the way.
3,750 pixels wide by 958 height. Okay. And then you should have a good size. And then from there, if you really wanted to, you could go through some of these templates and, have a lot of fun. So
anyway, back to us.
Yeah.
Sorry if you couldn't see anything we were doing in the top right corner.
I hope you could.
I don't think you can. That's fine. You get the point. If you use it, you'll understand. That's the whole point. They want you to overpay for it. I don't know what you're talking about.
The domain ransom.
Oh yeah, no, that's the whole point. It's called ransoming.
Yeah. It's up to you if you want to pay.
It's not technically against the law.
Exactly. That's the problem.
It is, but it isn't. It's one of those things that's in that gray line, because when you let it lapse, you have renounced your ownership of the domain. That's basically what you're doing. You no longer own the rights to that domain. However, if you sold under that domain and you have a copyright for that name, then they can't sell it to anybody else. They can own it, but they can't do anything with it because they're legally liable,
Didn't somebody buy Google.com like a long time ago?
Yeah, Google let their domain lapse for like 5 hours and somebody went and bought it for $5.
Yeah, and ransomed it.
And ransomed it to them for like $1 million, and they ended up like sending him a law. Like they were going to sue him, and he just immediately dropped it, and they didn't pay him $1.
Now that one didn't go through, but I think the one for like porn.com did, where the person did make a ton of money. Like
they didn't ransom that though.
Oh, I thought they did.
No. They just owned the domain and they ended up selling it for like $10 million or something ridiculous. Imagine getting rich for doing that.
Just
being the first guy that's like, you know what? Someday this is going to be worth a lot of money.
You know what?
My parents doubted me, but look at my mansion.
That's actually a whole profession where people will just buy zipzorp.com. And then when somebody, in 20 years decides that they're going to start the ZipZorp company, they want zipzorp.com, but they realize it's already owned and they'll pay a lot of money for it. So
somebody's going to go and buy ZipZorp.
Do it.
They said, I
Zipzorp.com.
think Google paid 5,000 for the domain. Yeah, they did. He wanted millions though.
Zipzorp.com.
I found a website that sells a bunch of Etsy items that are all stolen, including some of my items. Is there anything that can be done to take it down? Nope, because it's probably in China or India.
Yeah, that's the problem with, and this is not, I always have people who like say, oh, you're being racist. No, it's not a racist thing.
It's a legal thing.
It's a legal thing. The copyright laws, especially in China, which is where this primarily takes place.
They don't care about other countries' laws. They have their own.
Exactly. They don't care about our intellectual property laws.
And the same goes for India. They really don't care.
And it really, really sucks. And it's really annoying. What you can do is blast them on social media. You can, bug them every day on TikTok, or not TikTok, Twitter. That's a big place to, because it's public. Have your audience bug them. Really being the most annoying person on earth until they're so annoyed that they're like, fine, we'll take it down.
But they won't.
Well,
eventually they're just going to disappear. You just kind of got to wait it out.
Because either way, somebody buying from them isn't going to get what they paid for. So
they said they're either based out of Poland or Ukraine.
I don't know.
Put the URL without the .com in the chat and I can tell you.
Yeah, the URL.
We can try to tell you. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah, the URL, no .com with it, and we can tell you where they are.
Have you seen Etsy say anything about AI things? I originally thought it was illegal to sell them. I don't believe it is. But now so many YouTube videos are suggesting as cash fast schemes. I'm against. I was just curious.
I'm against as well. I am against until, and this is the big hoot that all the artists are saying. It's not that there's anything wrong with AI art. It is that AI art platforms right now are designed in a way where they can steal any art on the internet and compile it into a, visual monstrosity with elements of somebody else's art that they've stolen and tossed in.
Yeah, because it pulls from like Google Images and stuff.
Well,
it pulls from image archives.
Exactly. And what they're trying to do and why, and we're actually, they're actually pushing for laws and regulations right now on AI art that will set restrictions for where the art is acquired, which needs to happen.
I don't think it will, but we'll see.
But what they're trying to do is make it so that art AI sites have to pull from very specific areas, where people have said, yes, you may use my art in your archive.
I really wish websites would regulate it instead of waiting on the government to do it, because this falls under internet privacy and internet free speech. And it's one of those things where I am so against net neutrality laws, and I'm against it. I am wholeheartedly against regulating this at a legal level. But that's a whole different argument for a different day.
Right. So your core question, no, Etsy has not restricted it. People can sell it. Do I think that it's ethical? It just depends on where you're sourcing your AI art from. I do think that AI art has a place when it is created ethically through artists.
Open source. If it's open source imagery being used, then I honestly have no problem with it being sold on Etsy, because if you've ever used a real AI generator, some people can spend like 12 to 15 hours just figuring out how to get something to not look like a colored blob.
Right.
Like, it's not like it's something where you just plug it, like a real AI engine, a good AI engine that produces good images. I mean, you guys have seen all the goofy ones that comedians will do where they'll like put a couple of words in and it's like Star Wars Gandalf, and it's like Gandalf with a lightsaber, but it looks like absolute garbage. It looks like the worst acid trip ever on top of that image. Like, it takes a lot of work to make that actually look like something usable that somebody would want to buy. So
yeah, so
if it's ethically sourced, then I don't have a problem with it.
I think that we're going to see a lot more of it in the news and media over the next few months. So
Disney's cracking down on AI art laws. Disney will be the one to make such laws happen. Ugh, don't give Disney more power. I started a third Etsy shop last night, and I'm anxious to start working on the branding.
Awesome.
Rebranding, get a new site. Yeah, it still sucks though. Turn up. Yeah. How many listings would you recommend when starting an Etsy shop?
There's no recommended listings. Just get them in there. No listing. If you don't have any listings, then you can't sell anything. So just do what you can. I personally like to see, a decent, page full, but you got to start somewhere. So if you've only got 3 listings to list, then get those listed, because hey, even if you've only got 3 listings ready to go, one of them might sell tomorrow.
Somebody said operating under an LLC is still taxed as a sole proprietorship until you register your LLC as a tax entity. It also depends on whether or not you're registering as a limited liability company or a limited liability corporation. Those are two entirely different things as well.
Yeah.
I sold photography for 10 years and I've noticed it's becoming a race to the bottom for digital prints. I've noticed shops are selling stock photos they purchase and apply a filter. Is that allowed?
There's no rule on Etsy saying that you can't.
Thin gray line.
Here's the thing. There's always going to be a lot of competition. It's always going to be a race to the bottom if you are trying to compete on Etsy. Your best bet as somebody who's obviously in a saturated market with a bunch of sellers who are kind of muddying the water is to use other avenues to drive that traffic, getting on TikTok, sharing photography tips on YouTube, maybe try to teach some people some photography tips or some editing tips, but then also have, your own shop as something that you link and say, if you guys want to support me, if you guys want to help me, if you guys want to purchase any of the art that you've seen in today's tutorial or any of the photography that you've seen in today's tutorial, be sure to go to my Etsy shop where you can purchase yada, yada, yada. Unfortunately, when you are in a saturated industry, sometimes your best flow of traffic is going to be the traffic that you drive yourself.
We said if you want to protect your property across countries, you have to file copyright in every country you want to protect your property. You can copyright in China and then you'd have legal protection. You can try to do that, but if you look up China's actual laws on copyright protection for foreign countries, you also would have to get legal representation in China if and when somebody breaks that. And for anyone especially in the US that's ever been associated with the government, held a government job, has a family member with a government job, good luck flying to China and coming back.
Etsy updated their handmade rules in December.
You gotta be careful.
Can you make note of that? Etsy updated their handmade rules in December. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about that, but I will look into it.
Handmade rules, December.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna close that because people don't need to see that conversation. Can you talk about collaborations with other artists and Etsy's handbook now? And I want to explore it. I don't know anything about it, but I guess I can open it back up.
I was gonna say if that came from this update that I apparently didn't see, give me some time to look it over.
Yeah. They have a specific page on changes that they make too.
Yeah, it's in their in their developers blog, I think covers all things that update with Etsy.
I'm going to be starting to go through the dev blog like once a month as well and give you guys an update. That's content. AI books are also a thing. Those are pretty cool. There's people doing YouTube videos that are entirely made by AI now. There's a whole YouTube channel that does music videos. We checked it out. That are based on the lyrics.
They're awful.
They're terrible. The algorithm for the AI generators are not regulated enough, and I'm super against it at the moment. Yeah, I think they just need to be forced to pull from legit thing, but I don't think the government should regulate it anyway.
Joy said I lived in China for 8 years. They do not enforce copyright. Yeah,
that's what I said. Getting legal representation if you're not a Chinese person, we can go over like xenophobia and racism all day, but you're as a person in the US, you're probably not going to get representation there.
Yeah,
and it's not worth your time. Most of those companies get shut down so fast. They'll buy a place, start up a business, try to sell your stuff, and then they'll go out of business. China's an expensive place to live. You might not know that.
They're not just stealing your stuff. They're stealing everybody's stuff, and they're going to get shut down eventually.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Their traffic will get blocked or whatever else. Whoever made that video was so legally ignorant.
The one who talked about selling the AI art on Etsy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll get past all the AI stuff.
We'll get a lot of people really hate the AI stuff. At the end of the day, it's a form of art. As long as they're pulling it from a legal place, then it has a place on Etsy too.
Mm-hmm.
No different than sitting behind a computer and programming an image from scratch, and
Right. It just depends on
how it's being done.
Right. Exactly. Where the art's being sourced from.
Thin gray line.
Exactly.
DeviantArt made a huge statement. Yeah, we just saw it. We looked at that too.
Just saw it. Yep, I saw it right when they released it, and the way that they're doing it, the way that they're handling it is not professional. I'm actually very disappointed in DeviantArt.
Yeah. This person said copyright protection in the US isn't super great either. Yeah, it's very if you have the money to sue. I'm nervous how long Etsy will take to pay you when you open a new shop.
On payment reserve, I think it's 90 days. Sometimes you can speed it up, just, you know, depending. But it's a natural part of starting a new shop. It really, really sucks. But
Yep.
the payment reserve system is something that they created because so many people were starting off like they were starting like 100 digital shops or 100 print on demand shops.
I've said this before, and I think it's really important to understand that at the end of the day, protecting the customer is more important than protecting the seller, because there will always be an abundance of seller. Look at it from a shareholder perspective and from a company perspective. If there's nobody coming to the website to buy, and people are afraid to come to the website to buy, then they can't grow, which means they can't pay you more, because there will always be more people signing up to sell on Etsy. That's never going to stop until the company goes under, right? However, buyers are a different story. If one news article comes out on Fox or CNN or whatever else,
Etsy's a scam.
Etsy's a scam. People are getting scammed constantly. There's a new lawsuit because some rich person bought something on Etsy and it didn't turn out to be like, you know what I mean? So it sucks, but it's there to protect the buyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of these crappy features they keep putting in are usually there to protect the buyer, or at least make it more simple for the buyer. Well, the same with the repay program, when they pay or they make you not pay for like refunds and things. That they do benefits every once in a while for the buyers and for the sellers, but it's mostly for the buyers.
The buyer protection program. Now, the one person just said that they changed the rules on Etsy to have no stock photography. So that's actually really great.
Okay, well, we'll take a look through. I sent her a note in Facebook. We'll take a look through the changes. I usually in like the second quarter of the year, but I'll go ahead and do it. The hard part is seeing your art stolen. Yeah, it sucks.
However, they see it as a compliment and they keep doing.
It's definitely not a compliment.
I mean, I guess it could be if you were trying to see the silver lining.
If it was like stolen directly, but an indirect accidental steal by an AI program is a little different. Do you think the pet niche is still profitable? Hey, Amber, is the pet niche still profitable?
I'm gonna say, ask Amber Marie, who we have an interview called "How Amber Marie Has Made $500,000 in her pet portrait business on Etsy."
And that was a while ago.
Yeah, Natasha, absolutely.
Is it? Yeah. Trying to get past the copyright stuff so we get actual questions.
I think that almost all niches are going to be profitable on Etsy as long as you are doing the work and putting the work in that is required to sell. There are people who buy like Jesus-shaped Cheetos
for $1 million,
right, on eBay. So everything will sell. Now, I don't think that right now is a good time to start a new mask shop, because obviously there are less people buying masks. But
somebody had said something really smart. They said they can't buy it if it's not in your shop, in reference to the person that said, how many items should you have? That's great. If you don't have it in your shop, people can't buy it.
I believe it was Tracy who said
I believe it was. It's hard getting 10 pictures of a pair of earrings. Does Etsy hold it against you for not having 10?
No, but Gloria, we did an episode of the Friday Bean about how to fill all 10 of your listing photo slots. You don't just have to have pictures of the earrings. I do think that you can get 10 different photos, but you could fill your last 3 or 4. You could do one with just the care instructions for your earrings. You could do one with, follow me on Instagram at blah, blah, blah. You could have one of, how your earrings come packaged. There are other things that you can put in those photo slots. In terms of the algorithm, no, Etsy doesn't care how many photos you have. However, every photo is Etsy handing you a lottery ticket. Every photo is an opportunity to convince a shopper to be a buyer. So treat everyone as a lottery ticket. If I said, here's 10 lottery tickets, you wouldn't say, oh, I'll just take one of those. No, you would take all those lottery tickets. So I would try to fill out all 10.
I'm using ads for a few listings. I've made quite a few sales, but the ads eat into profits big time. The question is, if I turn ads off or lessen the amount, will it hurt my listing quality score? The amount that you spend on ads has zero effect on as far as we know, zero effect on your listing quality score. It's selling less, I'm certain, will drop it a little bit, but probably not enough that you're going to notice too awful much.
If your ads are eating into your profit, then you're not.
Yeah.
you shouldn't, then they're not successful ads if they're eating into your profit. So don't ever go into the negative just to keep ads running.
There's a Elday that
Lady.
that has a magnet with
A lead
some
magnet.
bad cursed chat JPG commands. Let's see.
Lead magnets, like the freebies that.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Question with branding. How would it work if one pivoted and added subscription boxes to personalized gifts? Would it be a separate brand or combine the sub boxes are not personalized? Thanks.
You didn't give me any context as to what type of personalized gifts.
I don't think you can do subscription boxes on Etsy anyway.
You can, but they have to either buy like the full price and then you have to send them out every time.
Continuously ship them. You can't recharge them.
Right. Margaret, it just depends on who the target audience is. It's not about the items themselves. It's more about the type of person who's buying them. So if if it is subscription boxes and personalized gifts and they're for like, moms, maybe you're doing like spa set subscription box and personalized mom mugs in your shop, then yeah, I would say that those go together. But if they're subscription boxes for, I don't know, dads who love drinking whiskey and they've got whiskey and beef jerky in them, but all your products are mugs for mom, might be a little confusing.
Is it better to revive and rebrand an old shop that has been dormant or start a new shop?
It's usually better to revive and rebrand because you'll still have some shop quality if you've got any sales or reviews.
And it saves you a bunch of work too, especially opening a new shop with you being put on payment reserve. I don't think it affects people nearly as much if you revive an old shop.
Yeah, not to mention new shops almost always get shut down, and then you can email Etsy to get your shop reactivated, but you got to sit and wait.
And I haven't seen that complaint as much as of late with shops getting it still happens, but I'm not seeing it anywhere near as much.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're still going to see it because there's a lot of people who don't understand copyright who will jump in and like sell something that like rides that line and get shut down. The thing is, most of the ones that I've seen get shut down recently have had issues with copyright or otherwise not terms.
Right.
You can take pics of the packaging too. You can also do pictures of the sizing, and you can do model demonstration, and there's a whole bunch of different things that you can take pictures of. It doesn't always, remember, same with your SEO, it doesn't always have to just be the product itself. Who's it for? What is it used for? Where is it going to be used? Lifestyle photos. There's so many different things that you can do.
Absolutely.
I have a Canva Pro account. I've assumed all along it's allowable to create products with these elements. I do draw much of my own art, but I also use Canva art to create my products that I sell.
Cynthia, I think that when Etsy says that you can't use stock photos,
that's not stock photos.
Right. What you're doing is you're manipulating the things on Canva. You're designing, you're adding in, little elements. You're
literally what Canva is designed for. It's for marketing and branding and making products. You can't just take like a single element, drop it on there as a PNG and then sell that. That's against Canva's terms, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think, Cynthia, I think it's more that you can't go to like pexels.com, download a photo and make an art print of it and sell it on Etsy. But we haven't read the new Etsy update yet. So
we'll go through it, maybe make an update, maybe next Friday being if we get to it. If not, maybe the week after that we can cover the updates if there's enough to make content on.
Right.
Excuse me. If not, we might just send an email. Any suggestions on how to design your company's packaging? Branding.
Yeah. Think about what, first of all, what's important to your customers. If you're selling like hemp necklaces, probably a good idea that you've got some type of eco-friendly packages because, I'm thinking about the audience who wants to buy hemp necklaces. They're probably, hippies, earthy. They're wanting something made out of natural materials. And if their product comes wrapped in plastic, it might make them mad.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider. And then thinking about your branding colors and, the experience of opening the package is what is going to get you a good review. A lot of people say, I don't like it when people send me a bunch of packaging and things, and I don't want freebies and I don't want all that. But you're a seller. Most buyers are buying not just the product, but the experience of that product because they think it's super cool to buy from a handmade business rather than Walmart. You also sell on the platform, so you're taking the perspective of a seller as well. So yeah. All right.
What do you think is a healthy time percentage split dedicated to making items versus marketing them?
You will
At
be
depth.
doing, well, in most cases, you'll be marketing more than you'll be making. I know that you guys hate to hear that.
It
but
depends. I mean, honestly, it depends on the product too. Because if
Mhm.
you're somebody who makes like big 10-foot by 10-foot crochet blankets, you're probably spending a
Well,
good
Glenda
90
makes soaps. So Glenda, I would dare say that once you've got, a decent amount of soap in stock, keeping your stock of your favorites, maybe everybody really likes your pumpkin spice soap in the fall, making sure that that's always available in the fall. But in terms of like coming up with new and innovative product ideas, you don't have to be doing that all the time. You're going to make money not from making a bunch of new products, but by marketing those products and doing your research and spending time on social media. So once you have an established product line of things that do well, people are going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Soap is something that people come back and buy over and over
Because
again.
people keep getting stinky.
Exactly. You just keep, I just don't know why it happens.
Like I keep showering, and every time I go like 3 or 4 days, I get stinky again.
Yeah. So you've got a great product 'cause people have to keep coming back, but you want to make sure that, your favorites are in stock. And meanwhile, you're also reaching a new audience of people who are also stinky who need soap as well.
And spoiler alert, it's everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone gets stinky.
Yeah, they
Other
do.
than like the 5 people on the planet that have some condition where they don't stink, and I don't think that exists because it's bacteria that makes you stink.
Butts always stink.
Butts always stink.
I don't care. I don't care if you don't sweat. I don't care if you're very cleanly. Butts stink. That's my slogan of the year. Butts stink.
Sorry for you out there with a butt stink fetish.
Butts stink. Starla 2024. I'm running for
right.
president.
What are you playing on stream tonight? I guess that's a good shout out time. We'll be streaming on Twitch tonight. We're going to be playing Valheim together. I don't think we're going to do Spookies this Friday.
Yeah.
I know we haven't streamed for a couple of weeks, but it's been the holidays and I didn't want to. So
well, Valheim's fun because we can both play together. We're
Exactly.
gonna make a house together.
we haven't played it since like early beta. So
It's like a kind of low quality Viking game. Like the
it's like
graphics
one of the
aren't
biggest,
great.
like most played games on the planet.
I'm just saying that the graphics aren't super detailed, but it's
But
really
that's
fun.
fine. I've been told by people who do not buy from me that they hate my packaging from a video. My reviews show my buyers love it.
Yeah, don't
That's
listen.
what we call a hater.
Yeah, don't listen to the people who don't purchase your product. And that includes, guys, family members who are negative Nancy's. I think you should do this. You'd make more sales if you did this.
TBH,
Like-
unless your family members are like people in marketing, I just wouldn't listen to your family for most things.
No.
They're almost always wrong.
Which, bless his heart, but his dad thinks that we should do telemarketing.
And your dad.
No, your dad thinks that we should do telemarketing, that we should call people to sell handmade.
Mhm. I don't think my dad has ever said that.
He has to me.
Well, he's never said that to me.
And then he talked about his telemarketing business for like 6
because
hours.
he ran a successful telemarketing business.
When?
Do
In
you-
1992?
I think so, yeah. Do you have any suggestions on how to come up with evergreen items?
Evergreen items. I mean, most items can be evergreen. Evergreen just simply means that they're always in style. As long as you're not following a trend on like use erank.com, use the keyword tool, make sure that you're actually seeing that people are searching for that item. But as long as it's not something like, for example, face masks, we needed those. And now everybody already has theirs. In most places, people aren't wearing them anymore. And
I sell face masks and I'm going out of business. What can I do?
right,
Stop selling face masks.
exactly. Like there are some products that are not, evergreen. Christmas items, they're evergreen in a sense that they'll come back every year. But if you need money all year round, you're not going to be selling Christmas products all year round, nor are you going to sell bikinis all year round. There's
So
going to
you
be
should.
a couple of people are going to go on vacation to a nice hotel in the winter and they're going to buy a bikini.
I went to Lost Lands in late September and everyone was in a bikini.
Okay, well that's
know.
that's not enough to keep a business open all year.
If you sell bikinis and want to sell all year round, sell to the electronic music crowd.
Anyway,
That's the way to
Lenny,
do that.
think of products that people use not for an occasion. Now, if you want to appeal to an occasion, birthdays are always happening and anniversaries are always happening, and weddings are almost always happening. So there will always be birthdays. There will always be losses. There will always be funerals. There will always be pets.
People do be dying.
Yeah, people do be dying. So there will
People do be being born too.
people do be being born. So that people will always die. People will always be born. So those are two occasions that are always going to be perpetual. Anniversaries are always going to happen. Weddings are always going to happen. Engagements are always going to happen. So those are some occasions that you can cater to.
What are your thoughts on stylized versus plain white as the first image on Etsy?
I don't really have an opinion. Both,
Unless you're trying to get yourself noticed on Google more, which doesn't really work for most people, then we do white or light for the amazing. You want to be able to tell looking at a thumbnail picture, which is like this big on your screen, what you're looking at. And then the other pictures can be bigger, more detailed, styled, that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a white background, but something that allows the product to pop is what matters.
Valheim has some spooky stuff. I do scream.
My standard for scary is a lot higher than most people, I think.
Well, Johnny was there for the scariest moment, so I'm sure he knows that we've been desensitized to it.
Yeah. Is it normal to have one product suddenly sell 5 times in one day and then 0 times in the next day? Yep.
Yeah, Claudia, that is your listing quality score. So your listing quality score is basically one of the things that Etsy looks at in order to rank your product in search and show it to more people. Your listing quality score you get a higher score every time your listing sells and every time you get a review for that listing. So if Etsy notices that your listing is sold, they're saying, ooh, Claudia made money and we made money. So I want to see if we can make more money by showing this listing to more people. That's how a bestseller, becomes a thing. It's not just that people are especially interested in that product. It's also that product has a higher listing quality score because Etsy is showing it to more and more people. So that's a good thing. A lot of people say, oh, how do you know listing quality score exists? Because, it's not a score that Etsy shares with us. It's private. We don't get to see it. But it exists because of instances like you just said. You'll have a product that, doesn't really sell, and then it sells once, and then Etsy's like, you know what? Today, everybody wants this product, so we're going to give this product a ton of visibility. Now, the good thing is you said it sells 5 times in one day and then 0 times the next day. You still have a listing quality score. Your listing quality score didn't go away. You have bumped up. You are at the next level now. So hopefully you see some more sales from it.
Can we schedule reels ahead of time? If so, how? Thanks.
You can through the Meta Business Suite on Facebook. You can now schedule your reels. I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I know that it's in our Meta Business Suite. I've never scheduled a reel. You can schedule TikToks with the Later app. And I believe that Instagram is integrating I believe that they're going to make it so that you can schedule in-house. I don't know if that update is rolled out yet, though. Somebody who knows more than me, post in the comments and let me know. But I do know that from your Meta Business Suite, there is an option up in the top right corner to create. Blue button, create. You click that, and then you can add a story, a post, or a reel. And I don't know if you can schedule it after that. I've never tried it.
I've had a shop since 2018, but I had nothing in it. From 2020 to October 2022, would that empty time be hurting me? Not necessarily, no.
No, just get active. Get active in your shop and start posting things and start trying to drive some traffic to your social media.
See if there's any. Is Amber still offering shop critiques?
Ask Amber.
I don't believe so.
I think she's taking a break.
Yeah. Well, she got like 40 in a day and had to stop.
Scroll up a little bit. Do you guys have a packaging video? I do, Gloria, way back when I ran my first Etsy shop. It's just how I package my Etsy product. The camera's awful and the audio is horrible. I think that I don't normally do this, but your best bet would be to find somebody who has like cute packaging videos. Now I do have a video called,
there's a lot of TikToks that do that.
I do have a really great video called I can't remember the title of it, but I go over the data about packaging your product and how people like your packaging.
We do a video every week.
I would have to pull it up to remember the URL. I can't remember. I'm probably not the best person to ask because the video I do have is not very high. It's old. It's very old.
Dude, there are so many TikToks on people that literally just package their stuff and Instagram Reels and stuff where all they do is package it. Just look at those and follow along.
Go to TikTok and type in hashtag Etsy packaging. And you will find so many TikToks of all these cute little trendy shops packaging all their, oh my God, I will sit and just watch a million of those because they're so cute. Sit and watch a bunch of those and you'll get so many good ideas.
Canva has free pictures as well as paid pictures. All pictures in Canva should be copyright free to use or will very clearly state it is for limited non-commercial use. Just read through their terms because you can't use unedited images from Canva. You have to alter them to be personalized. There's a very specific part of it for selling.
How about including your logo in the corner of the pics? I see that a lot lately. It's not worth it because there are apps called like watermark removers that get rid of them in a click. I don't recommend watermarking your photos unless you are doing actual artwork that can easily be stolen. Then it makes sense.
She said, I don't TikTok. You don't have to TikTok. Make an account and watch people.
Yeah, you can, or Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Instagram
Reels if you're somebody that's worried about their. I know there was a huge thing about. I think I should address this because this is something that we see a lot. There's a huge concern about privacy. There's a lawsuit going on with TikTok right now because it reads, and Joe Rogan started this. It reads a lot of information on your phone, including pictures, file names, websites you visit, that kind of stuff. Everything that you do does that. Facebook does that. Instagram does that to an extent. Every app that you use, YouTube learns your preferences. Everything that you use is a major privacy concern.
Well, that's
Unless
why...
you're going to be somebody who lives off grid, you're not escaping that. And a lot of people automatically associate it because it's Chinese. A lot of people associate that with bad things. A lot of people said, yeah, but China. But what are they going to do with it? Are you a U.S. national who works at the top end of the CIA? If not, then it really doesn't matter.
You don't have anything that China wants.
Yeah. And if anything, they're just using it to make marketing better, to market you things to buy better. And at the end of the day, all that does is expand upon how marketing is done, which is the evolution of technology. It's going to happen one way or the other, whether it's by good or bad means.
Now, I do have the email. I haven't had a chance to look at it. You said not to the extent that TikTok does, and I haven't had a chance to look into it yet.
No.
However, I will say Mark was an Air Force intelligence analyst, which meant that his job was like...
I had the highest clearance that you can get in the United States government.
And with that being said, I
use TikTok.
Well, but I remember when all of that was happening, a lot of even the service members were like in uniform with their rank showing, dancing around in TikTok videos. And wasn't there like a big thing?
They still do that.
Wasn't there like a big OPSEC thing that said that they weren't?
Well, yeah, you have to be careful. There are ways you can be smart and ways you can be stupid about it. But that's a whole different conversation because 99% of you aren't involved in any kind of position that it matters.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then stop worrying about what the general media tells you to be afraid of. It's mostly right-wing media that's pushing this kind of stuff right now. It really doesn't matter unless you're somebody of importance, of government importance, and most of you aren't. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
And if you don't want to use TikTok, that's fine. Use Instagram Reels.
It's the same friggin' thing.
Yeah, really, they're just as good.
And eventually, when TikTok goes away, then Instagram's going to do exactly what TikTok does. If I'm not getting any sales, would it be a good idea to have a flash 50% off?
That's a steep sale. That's up to you. I mean, sales are not a solution.
No.
Running a flash sale is not a solution for not making sales. There are so many other things that you can do. I recommend 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on how to make your Etsy listing sell. And it is like an exact checklist of everything that you should do in order if your listings aren't selling. Not to mention down below in the video description, I've got my 30-day Instagram challenge. That's free. That can help you to drive traffic to your shop. Not only does that help with your marketing, but if you get those sales that you drove yourself from Instagram, that helps to grow your listing quality score. Growing your listing quality score is going to help Etsy to see that people like that item, and then Etsy's going to start showing that item to more people. Mm-hmm. So, and there's somebody going around saying that that you don't get any brownie points on your listing quality score for driving that traffic from social media. And
a sale's a sale.
Yeah,
it might be categorized different on Etsy's back end system, but at the end of the day, the end of that funnel is money has been in your account. A little bit goes to Etsy. it was a sale.
Exactly.
It's a funnel. It's probably like a branching funnel, but at the end of the funnel, there's one tip, and that tip is the sale. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Etsy made money, and they're gonna
You know how
show
much
that product.
processing power it would take for them to have to like categorize everywhere a sale comes from and then give that particular thing an attribute to one of the 5 million active set. Like, that's so stupid. Don't worry about that. All right, we're gonna blast through because we're already 5 minutes over.
It's fine. Was that the one with the candy? It was.
Is it worth to do Etsy Explore?
As of right now, customers don't have Etsy Explorer. Only sellers do, and only sellers who use iOS. Android users, including myself, don't have it. So if you are using Etsy Explorer right now, you're only doing it in a community of other sellers. However, sellers can be buyers. So is it worth it? Sure. They ain't hurting anything.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Can you take your leg off the desk? You're shaking the camera.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, it might be a good time to experiment and play with it.
So my target audience isn't on TikTok. Bet. Absolute bet.
Richard.
Everyone's on TikTok. Where do you see Richard? Oh, up here. I have a new store. I want to keep it. I want to get organized from the start. Do you have any info on how to keep UPCs, images, links, titles, Excel in an Excel sheet by any chance?
Ooh, I don't use Excel.
No, we don't do any of that. We just use naming schemes and folders.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Richard, I'm probably not the best person. I am not good at Excel. What I do use is Trello for my own organization. Which if you prefer Excel, then, you know, you're going to get by a lot better on Excel. I like Trello because it's a lot more visual and I find it to be easier to use. And I do have a lot of videos about Trello on my channel for different things, marketing, building a content calendar. You can use Trello for any organization. So might be something to look into if you just want to take a little tour of it and see what I like.
I don't like for sellers Trello for images and things, because the more you upload and download, you lose quality. There's compression that takes place. So for images, I would use a folder format on your computer, because every time you upload that, if you delete it off of your computer and you're keeping it in Trello for organizational purposes, when you re-download it, it's going to probably be
Google Drive.
Google Drive is an option. Zipping it first will ensure that it doesn't overly compress, or that it can decompress once it is pulled out of the zip file. Anyway. I'm gonna stop on Linda's comment here because he's just keep rolling in. I want to start vlogging on YouTube. Do you have a recommended camera? I want to buy one that is less expensive side but not cheap quality. If you want to start vlogging, it depends on whether or not you're just going to be sitting at your desk and walking around, because if you're just walking around,
your phone's probably fine.
Yeah, just buy like the newest generation. As much as I hate to say this, the newest generation iPhone, because they generally have better camera software.
You're not going to get quality like this with a cheap camera.
No. This is a $3,000 camera.
Right.
Once the Elgato Facecam Pro comes out, it'll be $300. I think it is a 4K 60 webcam. That's not a bad option. It does not have a mic, so you'll need to get a microphone, something like a Blue Yeti. It's like $150. That's a good way to go.
Snowball.
Or a Snowball. Either way is fine. And then some kind of lighting, because no matter what camera you have, if there's crappy lighting, it's going to look like crap. So good lighting. You can look at, these are, what is the GVM? Glorious Video Maker. GVM is the company. I can't remember what it actually stands for. GVM lights, I think our set for 3 lights and diffusers was $300 years ago on Amazon. I think they're a little more than that, but you can usually get pretty decent lights. 2 is really all you need. You need 1, and then you need one for shadow balancing, and then you can get umbrellas for them for like $5.
Awesome. All right, last comment was Crafty Claire's. Yes, you can use Meta Business Suite for Reels to release when you want. So you can schedule Reels. Yay. I thought so.
Good. For the longest time you couldn't, and it was very agitating.
We got through all of the questions. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. We hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you give it a like. Even if you didn't, make sure that you give it a like, because that helps us, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything to like this video.
Yes, that's good. Do you remember my name, or where can I find you? What? Who are you talking about?
What? Are you talking to us? I don't know if you're talking. Oh, I think you're talking to Linda.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're talking to Linda.
And they said lighting is probably more important than the camera, and the audio is more important than the video. I'm going to wholeheartedly agree with you there, because if the audio sounds like crap, then I don't want to listen to it. I'll turn the video off. It sounds bad.
Yeah.
And people, I know it's stupid, and I know a lot of, especially older people, don't necessarily care that much unless you're using headphones. But the younger generation, they really care. Everything, you look at any video, even like younger kids when they make videos, they're like 4K 60, super crisp, lighting's perfect. Like, I'm jealous of how good they make their videos look.
Guys, tonight we're going to be streaming Valheim over on Twitch. You want to grab your Twitch handle? Are we going to be streaming at 6:30 or 7 tonight?
Turn this down so it doesn't start auto playing.
6:30 or 7?
7.
7? Okay, so 7 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be 6 p.m. Central. 5 p.m. Pacific.
No, 4 p.m. Pacific.
4 p.m.
It's 3
Pacific.
hours different. And that will be 8, 9, 10, 11. Midnight in the UK.
Yeah, so Mark went ahead and put the link, but
the chat.
He's Professor Prosciutto, and I am Phlebotomist Pizza over there.
Mhm.
We're going to be rocking out playing Valheim, which is kind of a Viking-y type.
And we will be higher
Game.
energy than this. It has been a tiring week.
Yeah, well, I'm having a gin and lemonade for tonight because I've been good. I've been doing a diet
I probably
where
won't drink.
if you guys want to follow my little diety adventure, I am only eating things that fit in my favorite bowl. So every meal has to fit in my favorite bowl, and you can find that on Instagram at Starla in a bowl.
And I'm just using a paid meal delivery service for fitness.
Yeah, Starla in a bowl.
Because
And
I'm lazy.
you guys can steal all my tasty bowl ideas,
But we
but
love you guys. Make sure you like the video if you haven't yet. Subscribe, click the little bell icon if you have the YouTube app and you want to get notified when we go live or when we upload videos. But it's every Tuesday at noon and every Friday at noon. Well, Tuesdays at 12:15.
yeah.
But Fridays at noon. It's the same always unless we announce it the week prior. So GVM, great video maker. Yeah, they're great.
That's what our lights are.
They're great. They're plugged in. We've had these for 3-4 years now. It just now looks this good because we realized that buying umbrellas is way better than diffusers. If you guys are getting into video, please, for the love of God, get an adapter to use an umbrella on your stands and use an umbrella on your stands. It's so much nicer than having indirect diffused light.
And you won't get headaches as bad if you have to record for a long time.
Sometimes I forget. I'll leave this one on. I'll turn this one off, and this one just stays on all day, and I'll forget that it's on. And they're LED.
They're nice.
Come on, they're nice.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully we see some of you tonight during the Valheim stream, and we will see you later. Bye-bye. Oh, we got to wait for a while.
We got to wait for a while again because I haven't made... I'll make my outro song in the next week or two.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we'll make it. See you later, guys. Bye.